Hey everybody, welcome to Perfect Edition Comics. I'm your host Perfect, and today we're going to take a look at new releases for November 2020. So we're talking about collected editions. If you're interested in manga, I actually have separated these two videos, so you can find a link somewhere here on the top right hand corner or in the description below and go check out what books are coming out in manga. For that, things like Busiek, Hellsing Deluxe editions that are coming out in November, they're all listed there. Hopefully this makes it a bit easier for you to find exactly what interests you. Next up, I should just say that not all the dates, not all the books are coming out on time. This happened before coronavirus. It's even worse now with what's going on with the pandemic. So obviously if you see something and then you get really irritated because it's not out, just be patient. These books normally eventually come out, but are sometimes moved from month to month depending on the publisher. Last off, I'm super interested in knowing what are you picking up next month or this month in November. So please leave that in the comments below and let's get going. So first up, we got DC Comics. And something that many people have wanted for quite a long time is the Detective Comics run from Rebirth by James Tynion. So this is Batman Rise and Fall of the Batmen. This is an omnibus edition, and this collects Detective Comics 934 through 981, a couple of pages from issue 1000, Detective Comics Annual Number 1, and Batman 7 and 8, and then lastly Nightwing 5 and 6. This has got a retail price of around $150, but normally you can get it, around 50% off at most online retailers. This comes out November 4th. Next, we got a prequel to No Man's Land. This is Batman: The Road to No Man's Land. This is one of the books that I spoke about that's been a bit delayed. Now it's hopefully coming out this November, knock on wood. This should come out November 18th, retail price around $125. It collects way too much for me to talk through it all now and kind of bore you to death. You can take a look at this though and see it for yourself. So this is Nightwing, Prince of Gotham Omnibus. This is another member of the Bat family and another kind of Bat family Omni, focusing on Dick Grayson as Nightwing. And this kind of covers him being back in Gotham and taking on the Joker and a whole bunch of stuff from the New 52 era. It collects Nightwing 0 to 30, Batman 17, Young Romance and New 52 Valentine's Day Special Number 1, which is a book I've been so hunting down. Jokes. Not really sure what it's got, but it doesn't sound too serious. Nightwing Annual Number 1 and Secret Origins Number 1. This will be in shops around the 4th of November and goes for a retail price of $99.99 or $100. Then we got Super Sons Omnibus. This is a kind of reprint in a way. So this Omni already came out quite a while back, but they are now expanding it and giving an expanded version of the Omni. So in terms of what it actually collects now versus the other one, I haven't got that listed in front of me for the old one. So let's just go through what this has, and then you can always find and pick out the differences for yourself. Collects Superman 10 and 11, Superman 37 and 38, Teen Titans 15, Super Sons 1 to 16, A Tale from Rebirth Holiday Special Number 1, Super Sons Annual Number 1, Super Sons Dynamut Special Number 3, and Adventures of the Super Sons 1 to 12. So I actually believe the Adventures of the Super Sons wasn't in before, if my memory is correct, and maybe that was added. Anyway, it comes out November 18th and has a suggested retail price of $99.99 as well. Then another one of the delayed or postponed Omnis. This is JLA by Grant Morrison. This collects his work from the 90s with Howard Porter. And this was solicited, I believe, for last month or the month before. And is now being pushed out to November 18th, and this has a suggested retail price of $150. Then we got another Omni. This is Justice League International number 2, so this is the second omnibus. This collects Keith Giffen and Jem DeMatteis's work, as well as a whole bunch of other selected artists like Mike McKone, Derek Robertson, etc. And this collects Justice League of America 31 to 50, Justice League Europe 7 to 25, Justice League America Annual 4, Justice League Europe Annual Number 1, Justice League Quarterly Number 1, and Justice League International Special Number 1. This comes out November 25th and has a suggested retail price of $125. Then we have Injustice Gods Among Us Omnibus Number 2. This continues the kind of well-reviewed and surprising computer game adaptation of Injustice, and this collects Injustice Gods Among Us Year 4, 1-12, Injustice Gods Among Us Year 4 Annual, Injustice Gods Among Us, I'm not going to say this every single time, Year 5, 1-20, Year 5 Annual number 1, and Ground Zero 1-12. This comes out November 18th and has a retail price of $125. Then we have Deadman Omnibus. This is a wide-ranging collection of Deadman. It has art by Neil Adams, and it collects a whole bunch of stuff which I'm not going to go through, but some of the highlights are Strange Adventures 205-216, some old Brave and the Bold issues 79, 86, 104, Justice League of America, World's Finest, The Phantom Stranger, Superman Family, DC Comics Presents, and of course actually Deadman himself, Deadman 1-4 from 1986, as well as Secret Origins 15, which gives some of the background for the character. This is due out November 11th and has a retail price of $99.99. Then we have the 5th edition of the new Teen Titans Omnibus. This continues Marv Wolfman's run, and this covers New Teen Titans 32-49, New Teen Titans Annual number 3 and 4, Tales of the Teen Titans 91, Secret Origins 13, Secret Origins Annual 3, and Infinity Inc. 45. This will be in shops apparently in January 27, 2021. So I'm not really sure why it's in the November previews, but anyway, I'm not exactly sure what's going on with DC. Sometimes their books come out when they say, sometimes they never come out, and sometimes they come out a few months ahead or behind. So always fun with them. This is also going for $99.99. Then on the Vertigo, or now I guess DC Black Label side of things, we have Lucifer. This is the second omnibus. I think this finishes off most of the story. This covers Lucifer 36-75 and will be out November 4th for $125. Then we have a deluxe edition. This is Plastic Man by Kyle Baker and Scott Morse, and this is the rubber banded deluxe edition hardcover. This is from the 2004 run, and this covers Plastic Man 1-20, also out November 4th for $69.99. Then we got Justice League by Scott Snyder. This is the deluxe edition, book 2, and this covers Justice League 14-25 and annual number 1. This will be in shops also on November 4th and goes for $39.99 suggested retail price. Then we have the final deluxe edition of Promethea. This is the third deluxe edition and collects 24-32. And this has got some stunning art and is of course written by the legendary Alan Moore. So this is the Batman Who Laughs Deluxe Edition hardcover. So this collects The Man Who Laughs number 1. And then it also collects Detective Comics 784-786, Batman Gotham Noir number 1, which apparently is the first team up of Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. They've really had to beef this up because the prestige format was really thin, if I remember it correctly. So it's interesting to see what they've added to make this into a chunky enough page count for a deluxe edition. This comes out November 4th and has a retail price of $29.99. Next, we have the first of multiple pick of the months for the first time for me. Normally, I just have one pick of the month, but this month had a couple which I was really interested in, so I decided to go for multiples just to showcase what I believe are some of the better books coming out. So first of all, we've got Wonder Woman Dead Earth hardcover. This is done by Daniel Warren Johnson, who did Murder Falcon. Yeah, it's a black label. I hope that it's kind of a funky album, oversized hardcover like they've done for some of the black label editions, because his art would really shine at that size. So for me, just having kind of an Elseworlds style Wonder Woman tale with, Daniel Warren Johnson's art and writing, super looking forward to this. Didn't read in the singles, waited for collected editions. So let's see what this brings us on November 4th. It collects the 4 issues of Dead Earth that were released, and this is going for $29.99. Back-to-back pick of the months, no surprises here. Batman 3 Jokers just finished in singles. I'm waiting for the collected edition, not sure if it's going to be oversized or standard size. Might pick this up now or wait for an oversized. This is Jeff Johns and Jason Fabok. Not much else to say. If you don't know this, then probably haven't been reading the news or looking at anything. But if you're into comics and know anything that's going on right now, you've probably already either picked it up in singles or you're waiting for this as well. So that's Batman 3 Jokers, comes out November 4th. Also a retail price of $29.99. This is Why the Last Man, the Compendium Edition number 1. I think there'll be 2 of these. This collects 31 issues, or the first 31 issues of Why the Last Man, which is still probably my favorite work by Brian K. Vaughan. This is something which I really, really enjoyed back in the day. Have it all in trades, read it multiple times. It's great if you haven't picked it up, and this is probably one of the most cost-efficient ways of reading Why the Last Man if you want to pick this up. It comes out November 11th and has a retail price of $59.99. Let's take a look at Marvel Comics. This is, I promise you, my final pick of the month. This is the Dark Horse reprints, and this is Conan the Barbarian by Kurt Busiek, and beautiful, beautiful painted style art by Carrie Nord. If you haven't read this, it's highly recommended. My kind of favorite modern Conan run, taking for granted, I guess, the fact that I haven't really read too much modern Conan, but I really enjoyed this in the early 2000s. So this collects Conan the Legend 0, Conan 1 to 28, 32, 39, and 45 and 46, and lastly Conan the Book of Thoth 1 to 4. This comes out November 25th for a retail price of $125. Then we have Excalibur Omnibus Volume 1. This is Chris Claremont and Alan Davis. This collects the Excalibur Special Edition 1988 number 1, Excalibur 1 to 49, Excalibur Mojo Mayhem number 1, and Excalibur Weird War 3. This is November 18th for $125. Then we have kind of the last of Jim Starlin's work on Thanos. This is Thanos Infinity Saga Omnibus. It collects a whole bunch of stuff I'm not going to get into now, but it's all kind of late 2000s Jim Starlin work from 2014. This stuff is late as modern as 2018 and 2019, which is the Infinity Conflict in 2018 and the Infinity Ending in 2019. So if you're a Thanos fan, you can grab this on November 11th for $100. Then we have a reprint. This is the reprint for Uncanny X-Men Omnibus Volume 2. Classic Chris Claremont and John Byrne work over here. Again, I probably won't go through everything this collects as it's a reprint, but if you're waiting or considering buying this up on the second-hand market, just wait a little bit longer. Around November 11th, this will be coming out for a retail price of $100. Then we have the third Venomnibus collection. This collects a whole bunch of stuff leading into the early and mid-2000s for Venom. Obviously, there's a whole bunch of different minis and things collected in here, as it's not so much the long ongoing series for Venom. Although, having said that, there is I believe the Venom 2003 series is probably the biggest chunk of ongoing, which is issues 1 to 18 that took place in 2003. This comes out November 4th for $125. Then we have Black Panther Hardcover Volume 3, Intergalactic Empire, Wakanda Part 1. Whew, that's quite a mouthful. This is Ta-Nehisi Coates and Daniel Acuña's work. Apparently, it's really, really good. I haven't read any of the previous hardcovers, and there should be a second part of this coming out, but I believe for some reason it's on hiatus or hasn't yet really happened in singles completely yet, so you might be waiting a while for Part 2. This collects Black Panther from 2018 1 to 12, comes out November 4th for a retail price of $34.99. Then we have the latest in the Star Wars books. So this is Darth Vader by Greg Pak. This came out, I believe, this year. I know the Star Wars definitely came out in 2020. So this is, as far as I believe, might have started in 2019, but this is the 2020 version of Star Wars Darth Vader. And this collects the first 5 issues in trade paperback, comes out November 25th for $15.99. Next, we have Star Wars, the title book. This is the first trade paperback, Destiny Path, by Charles Soule and this is definitely from 2020 and collects issues 1 to 6, comes out November 11th, and is going for $17.99. Then we have a new kind of acclaimed run on Thor, taking over after the last acclaimed run by Jason Aaron. This is Thor by Donny Cates. This is the first trade paperback, Devourer King, and collects Thor from 2020, numbers 1 to 6. Super highly regarded run. I'm not into it yet because I still need to get through all the Jason Aaron stuff, but looking forward to this. This comes out November 4th for $17.99. And we have another celebrated run. This is a complete collection, which is Avengers by Jonathan Hickman. This is the second complete collection. The Omnis are out of print, so if you're looking to get into this, you can collect it in these thicker trades. A bunch of really great art by Adam Kubert, Francis Yu, etc. And this collects Avengers from 2012, 6 to 17. New Avengers number 7. Material from Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu number 1. This will be coming November 25th for a retail price of $34.99. So this is Star Wars Legends Epic Collection Tales of the Jedi. This is a continuation of the amazing team from the Legacy books. So this is also a Dark Horse reprint, and that team is on writing John Ostrander and on art Jan Dersimer. This is something which I'm really, really looking forward to, and this collects all the Dawn of the Jedi books, Force Storm 1 to 5, Prisoner of Bogan 1 to 5, Force War 1 to 5, and then the Dawn of the Jedi 0. Comes out November 25th for a retail price of $39.99. Next we have another epic collection. This is the Venom Epic Collection Symbiosis. This is Tom DeFalco, David Michelini, Louise Simonson, a whole bunch of great writers on this. Todd McFarlane's on some of the art. So it looks like a great collection of stuff. It collects Amazing Spider-Man. It jumps into Web of Spider-Man, has a whole bunch of things going on in here, and finishes off with Spectacular Spider-Man Annual number 12. This comes out November the 4th. And is retailing for $39.99. Then another epic collection. This is the Avengers Heavy Metal. Covers some of Roger Stern's work as well as Mark Grunwald as well. And this collects Avengers 286 to 303 as well as Annual 17. Comes out November 11th for $39.99. So this is the Daredevil Epic Collection Last Rites, and this collects Daredevil 283 to 300 as well as Annual number 7. This is due out November 18th and goes for a price of $39.99. Let's take a look at what Image has for us in November. First up, another big hitter. Could have been another pick of the month for me, but I didn't want to pick everything because then nothing is really a top pick as such. This is the third deluxe edition, so first of all, as a caveat, not to confuse yourself. If you want to collect everything from this current or most recent run of Criminal, which is known as Volume 5, but actually feels like Volume 3 because this is the third deluxe edition, you'll need this deluxe edition plus the previously released oversized hardcover called Cruel Summer. And then you'll have everything from the latest Criminal. So just remember you need those two books. Coming back to what's in here, of course, this is Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. This collects the Savage Sword of Criminal and Deadly Hands of Criminal magazines. The graphic novels My Heroes Have Always Been Junkies and Bad Weekend, issues 1 and 4 of the newest run of Criminal, and 2 short stories about the Lawless family. This comes out November 18th and goes for a retail price of $49.99. Another long-awaited deluxe edition. This is the final third volume of Paper Girls by Brian K. Vaughan and Cliff Chiang. Yeah, this collects the final 9 issues. Issues numbered 21 through 30, along with some extra bonus material as well. This comes out November 18th for $34.99. Then another ending hardcover series. So we had the End of Criminal, the final volume there. We have the final volume of Paper Girls, and lastly we have the final volume of East of West. This is Jonathan Hickman, and this collects East of West 30 to 45. Comes out November 18th for $49.99. Then we have a new hardcover. I think this is just a standard hardcover from the look of it. This is Adventure Man, which is by Matt Fraction and Terry Dotson. The artwork looks stunning on this. Looks like a smaller hardcover because it just collects the first 4 issues of Adventure Man. So Adventure Man 1 to 4 comes out November 25th for a retail price of $24.99. Then we have another kind of conclusion or ending to a series is Gideon Falls Trade Paperback Volume 5. I believe this is the end of it, and this collects Gideon Falls 22 to 26, comes out November 25th, and has a retail price of $16.99. Let's move on to Dark Horse and see what they have for us. First up, we've got the Neil Gaiman Library Edition. This is the second hardcover, and this collects a bunch of graphic novels. The first being The Facts in the Case of the Departure of Miss Finch. Whew, it's a mouthful. Likely Stories, Harlequin Valentine, as well as Troll Bridge. This comes out November 11th and goes for a retail price of $49.99. It's got a bunch of great artists on it, by the way. Mark Buckingham, Colleen Doran, and I believe the covers are done by Fabio Moon. Looks like a really awesome cover. This is a super interesting one. This is Noir Collection of Crime Comics. The thing that kind of drew my eye to this wasn't necessarily the cover, which although it looks kind of funky, but it was the list of creators on here. It's like a who's who of insane writing as well as artistic talent. So we've got Brian Azzarello, Jeff Lemire, we've got Ed Brubaker. Yeah, it's crazy. We've got Jeff Lemire doing artwork again. We've got Kano. Yeah, it's crazy. Sean Phillips, Gabriel Barr, Joel Jones. It's never ending. So this collects, I believe, 13 different stories in here. So yeah, I don't really know more than that, but it intrigued me just by the talent on this book. It comes out November 25th and goes for $19.99. Then we got Neil Gaiman. This is his American Gods adaptation into comics from his books, as far as I understand. And this collects the first 9 issues of American Gods. Comes out December 16th for $29.99. Then I always like to throw in a few art books. This is The Art of Star Wars, Jedi Fallen Order. Can't be worse than the movie, I guess. I don't know. Movie wasn't that bad. But this is the oversized hardcover. It's always great to kind of see design process and art from amazing artists who they have for these movies. So yeah, this is something which really just caught my eye. Still really love looking through the art in these art books. This comes out November 20th for $39.99. Let's take a look at some of the other publishers. So we'll take a look at Oni Press, IDW, Boom, etc. and see what they have coming out. First of all, we got Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is the black and white book which came out a while back. And this is a hardcover as well. This collects the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover number 1, the black and white edition, as well as the numbers 2 to 5 of the black and white editions of that. And then it also collects the 5-issue full series of this. This comes out November 11th for $29.99. Then we got an original graphic novel from Joss Whedon's Firefly. This is Watch How I Saw graphic novel. Has 5 short stories inside of it, and this is a hardcover version that comes out November 25th for $19.99. Then another Power Rangers book. This is the Beyond the Grid Deluxe Edition hardcover. This collects issues 31 to 39, as well as the Anniversary Special number 1. And this is coming out November 4th for a retail price of $60. Then we have Something is Killing the Children, which is the brand new hotness. This is the second trade paperback, so if you have been waiting for collected editions and can't wait for a hardcover because the story is so gripping, which is a lot of you, James Tynion is killing it on this book. This is, killing it. Something is Killing the Children. Okay, too obvious. Anyway, this collects issues 6 to 10, comes out November 25th for a price of $14.99. Then another great read. This is Kieran Gillen and Dan Mora, who did the Santa Claus books with Grant Morrison. This is Once and Future, so a fantasy book. Super, super highly recommended. This is the second trade paperback that collects issues 7 to 12. This comes out November 11th for a retail price of $16.99. Then we got DuckTales, Silence and Science. I should remind you that I actually just did an overview of the life and times of Scrooge McDuck, which you can find somewhere in a link here that I'm showing you right now or in the description below. Take a look at that. Really awesome books. I looked at the hardcover set. This is the modern version of DuckTales. Just kind of piqued my interest because I know there's a new cartoon that's out, and they're also kind of redoing some of the comics as well. So if this is your vibe, or maybe something for the kids, then take a look at this on November 25th. This trade comes out and it retails for $9.99. Then we got Catalyst Prime's 7 Days trade paperback. I don't know too much about this, but the art and writer kind of caught my eye, well, at least the cover artist, which is Stepan Sajic. Probably saying that wrong. He always laughs at people that try and pronounce his name, so yeah, hope he enjoys that bad pronunciation. Writing obviously stands out. It's Gail Simone, and this kind of looks at an alternate take on future Earth and superheroes, etc. This comes out November 18th and retails for $19.99. So this is another book where the creators really kind of caught my eye, alongside a fantasy setting cover that caught my eye as well. This is written by Curtis J. Weeb, who brought us Rat Queens, which I thought was super funny and super interesting and high-paced, and really enjoyed Rat Queens. So hopefully this is something in a similar vein, also in a fantasy setting. This is Dryad, the first trade paperback. Not sure if it's the last, but it might be a standalone. Don't know too much about it. This comes out November the 25th for $19.99. So that's it. Thanks for watching. That was around 55 books, so hopefully your wallet won't get too punished. Again, a reminder, if you want to know what manga is coming out in November, I got that in another video, which I'll link here in the description below. Let me know what you're thinking of picking up in the comments below. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't, that's much appreciated. Also drop a like if you like this video. And remember, stay perfect. See ya!